Hello, hello. We are shelling some white corn tonight. Doing quite well. Can't complain. In the last little set of indrows here, in about 102 acre field here. So started to wrap up soybean harvest. I got about maybe 60 acres left of soybeans, and that's it. And I don't know, 400 or 500 acres of corn left probably. So going pretty good. Putting some white corn in the hopper. This isn't yellow corn, it's white corn. We got the neighbors rolling beside us here. They got a combine, a grain cart, and a vertical tillage tool, putting some cover crop seed on next door. That's what we'll be doing tomorrow, is spreading this field and VTing it in. Hopefully shelling some more corn too. So messing around in these really fun indrows. Can't really, just miscounted there actually. All overlapped here. My row clutches were kind of doing what they were supposed to, kind of not. So this is the edge of the field here where some rows overlapped, so it's kind of fun to shell. But field average is 256 right now, so pretty good corn, especially being white corn. Got a lot of this sold for over $6.50 a bushel this year, some of it over $7, so that'll be nice, especially at 250 bushel. Pay some bills, pay some high interest rates. The bins are doing good. Had a little bit of a scare with them last night. We had some corn starting to get kind of hot. The generator was acting up on us. There'll be a video about that, I'm sure. I recorded some stuff, but long story short, the generator last night was overheating. And just the old radiator was completely full of rust. So we got pretty creative, went to AutoZone. I told them, give me the biggest radiator you've got. We ended up buying one for a 2004 Dodge Ram 1500 and zip tied it into the generator and got creative with some hose fittings and some hose clamps, and it's been running for a day and a half now, and I haven't seen it get over 150 degrees. So we're drying corn in the bins, or at least keeping it cool. This corn is about 17%, so it looks like I am already about full again. We're here pretty close to the farm. Michael is running the grain cart right now, just back and forth to the farm. We've got a semi parked over the swing away auger, so he's just dumping into that and letting it trickle into the bin all day. And we've got a row stopped here. Run the reverser here. I think it's because it was grabbing two rows where the rows overlap here at the edge of the field. Yeah, we're good to go. So I will be full here in a second, and I will scroll up and read some comments while we wait on the grain cart. Neighbors over there rolling, like I said. Everybody's been hitting it pretty hard around here. We've been trying our best to hit it hard when equipment has cooperated. Hasn't been too bad this season. Could definitely have been worse with a few things, but all in all, it's gone relatively smoothly so far. We've cut a lot of soybeans. Like I said, we've only got about 60 acres of soybeans left. About 450, 500 of corn left. So got quite a bit of corn to go. But as far as the soybeans, that went fairly smooth. We've had really good weather to get soybeans out. Our biggest issue was honestly keeping them away from the combine this year. Soybeans did very, very well. We had a lot of 80, 75, 80, 85 bushel beans. Field averages making that, so pretty happy about that. Get to the end of the field here with a full hopper. Worked out good. But yeah, we'll swing our auger out here and say Michael will be on his way shortly. So I'll scroll up and read some comments here. I'm right here behind my house at the moment. The farm is right there. You can kind of see the new grain bin shining over there. So I will scroll up here, zoom back out, read some comments. We got a full hopper in there. This white corn has been impressing me. It's been doing very well. Like I said, field average is 255 right now. There's a yield map. We're on some lighter dirt in through here, but out in the middle of the field, it's done quite well. This red spot here, right behind my house, there was quite a bit of wind damage to it. A bunch of it had blown flat, snapped off, but of course it had to be right by my house. So good evening to y'all. The bins are working out good. We got the fans running temporarily with the generator, and all is working well. The fire I posted the other week, yes, everything's good. The neighbor was spreading some turkey litter. Turkey litter is kind of like wet hay sometimes. It'll get hot spots in it. And super dry corn stalks, and it was just enough to ignite a cornfield on fire. Luckily, they had a tractor and disc. We had 2 tractors and discs, so we got it put out before it got too big, and it didn't burn any standing crop, just some corn stalks that had already been shelled. So corn's doing well though. Seth Wagler, yeah, I'm sure you guys are. I think everybody in the neighborhood's shelling some corn right now. Harvest's been going good. Would I ever put a wind system on the bean head? Yeah, probably. I mean, for the right price. Some corn around here being harvested. Yeah, pretty well everybody hammered down on soybeans this year. We started on soybeans at like 15-16%. I mean, they were wet when I was cutting them. And by the time we really got through them, I had some down to about 10%, getting way too dry. So I'm glad we started when we did and cut a few a little bit wet. I mean, we didn't have any go bad. And honestly, the shrink on soybeans, I'm okay taking a little bit of a dock just because you're hauling a lot of bushels that it's just water weight. So still waiting on some merch. I might do some sometime. I've done a few runs before, but I don't know. I have t-shirts, I have sweatshirts, I have stuff like that, but honestly, it's just stuff I have made here locally and just kind of give away to people here locally. Watching from Ireland. Well, you're right up the road then. Right up 257. 257's right there. But I do quite a bit of business with a guy from Ireland. In fact, he sold me this seed corn. Hey from Florida, well, hey from Indiana. Have I done any yellow corn yet? Yes, I shelled the reclaim ground That's pretty poor dirt. I think it ended up averaging like 165, 168, something like that. I don't know. I could pull it up and climb it here, but 165, 168 was a pretty good average for that ground. Obviously, this is 250, 255. Had a field across the highway make 270. Had another one make about 260. I think it made 262. So the white corn's been doing really well. The only yellow corn I've shelled, though, was on really poor ground. So for that ground, I mean, 160, 170 is really good corn. So Michael's pulling up here. We'll get fired up again. Get going here. Can't tell if I'm gonna pick up another row here or not. I don't think so. Yes, I am. Okay. Trying to drive one-handed here. Holding my phone live streaming with the other, so bear with me. But we're rolling about 4 miles an hour. I could bump that up a little bit, but this corn is... We got some really, really strong winds earlier this year, and I'm not faulting this hybrid at all because there wasn't many hybrids that would have stood very well in this stuff, or in the wind we got. We got some really, really high gusts when this corn was at a pretty vulnerable stage, I would say, where the stalks hadn't quite hardened up yet, but they were tall. It's not really much of it at all has been flat, but a lot of it's kind of bottlenecked and crooked. So it's kind of been difficult in places to follow the rows. But like right there. But it's not too terribly bad, and I mean it's still yielding really well, and it's still feeding. It's not like I've been struggling too bad with it, so. Yeah, we're cranking out the bushels though. That is definitely for sure. Get that shut off. Really no point in even putting my auger in right now because we're going to be dumping again here shortly. We're in half-mile long rows, making over 300 bushel right now. Well, we were. Made a liar out of me. 294, 282, 296, 292, 284, 267. So that's the instant. I mean, there's been good spots, there's been bad spots out here, but pretty happy with it. It's doing pretty all right. This combine eats it right up. I mean, this is a Class 8 combine. It's been tuned and deleted. It's got just as much horsepower as a Class 9, so for me to be running an 8-row on it, I could definitely drive faster than what I am. But the thing is, we can't keep the grain away that fast anyways. I mean, I can run 6 miles an hour, but that's getting pretty hard on the corn head, and there's really no point because we can't keep it away from the combine that fast anyhow right now. So slow as smooth, smooth as fast, and try not to tear anything up. The reclaimed ground last year, yeah, it had double. Well, the wheat last year on the reclaimed ground did really well. But the double crop soybeans, I think they were like 15 or 20 bushel. They weren't good at all. There were places that they weren't even hardly worth combining. But we got super dry at the end of last summer. The full season beans did well because they were already kind of filled out and had moisture to put beans in the pods, but the reclaimed ground, it got the short end of the straw on moisture for sure, so they struggled to do very well last year. So yeah, 165, 160, 165, whatever it was that yellow corn made, I was pretty happy with. I mean, that's the equivalent to 220, 240 bushel corn here on this type of ground. So it's cheaper ground though. I mean, it's all relative. We don't have near the fertilizer, near the seed expense on ground like that. I don't plant near as high of a population just because that ground's really not capable of raising 250 bushel corn. We keep farming it like we are. We actually, as soon as we got it shelled, we spread fall fertilizer on it, some phosphorus and potassium, and we also spread some cover crop rye, about 25 pound an acre, and vertical tilled all that in. I kind of annihilated my vertical tillage tool out there this year. I smoked a few rocks and ended up breaking a disc spindle in half. So that was fun. So I have that ordered. It hasn't came in yet, but I've got it ordered. But that ground, the rocks are plentiful on. Been struggling with this today with the corn head. Every now and then, for some reason, it just does not want to feed, just because these stalks are so dry. We adjusted a lot of things on it earlier, and it's a lot better than it was, but it's still not great. But the stalks are really dry, they're really brittle, so actually when we get a dew like this, this time of night, actually seems to go a little better. As I say that, it just did it again. So I am gonna run the head just a little bit higher and see. The ears are plenty high on this corn, so see if that doesn't help us out. It seems to be feeding a bit better now. Just putting a lot of material through it. But we are already 3/4 of the way full again. Does not take long. I'm not sure where Michael went. Are you somewhere around? Oh, there he is. But we just got this sliver here left. I wasn't sure how much I had to go before I turned. I didn't realize I was already at the end. So nothing. We'll dump. So we'll get dumped here. Got the new Steiger on the cart. That's been working out fairly well. The exhaust started to fall off of it tonight, so he got creative and hacked it off and put a 45 on it. It's actually kind of funny looking, but it works. So we will be picking up another row. I believe we're going to have a row of shame somewhere in this field. Definitely are. Yep. Oh shit. Like I said, we're still opening up. I had 2 passes of end rows on this end of the field, so kinda some wonky stuff going on. I'm only taking 7 rows here because I believe I'm gonna pick up another one here in a second. If I remember right, I am. Put it that way. This should be the last pass of rows that are going all over the place, though. Should be. But the corn's doing well. It's doing really well. Neighbors are over there shelling away as well. I think everybody's been pretty happy with the yields here in this area lately. It sounds like. Hasn't been too much to complain about. That's from the people I've talked to. corn is doing very well right here. Doing really well. Holy cow. That is like stupid good. It is rolling in though. I'll take it. That's shut down. I don't know what all's going on here with these rows. Going a little bit of every which direction, so that's fun. So I'd say he's gonna go ahead and take that back to the farm. Get that dumped. That row is just wanting to hang up for some reason. I do not know why. But I believe we're gonna have to stop again. Let it clean out. I don't know. It's been giving me fits. It's not any of the other rows. It's just that one. I've put new feeder, or I've put new gathering chains. I put new knife rolls on it. Gathering chains are tight. The deck plates are adjusted the same spot as everything else. But for some reason, that row has just been giving me absolute fits all season. It's not mattered what hybrid it is or anything. It's been a pain in the ass. So we're gonna grab a few more rows here. Pardon my camera work. I'm trying to drive with one hand and record with the other, so bear with me. I don't know what in the hell I got going on here. Alright, rows going everywhere. Have I already shelled? That's the problem. I've already shelled 4 passes. I thought I'd only shelled 3. So, yeah, I just kind of screwed myself here. It's alright. We'll get it right on the next pass. It wasn't gonna work out perfect anyhow, so let's move over here, take 8, and see what happens. I don't know. Driving like I don't have any sense right now. And we're already back down to 7 rows, so I don't know. This field isn't completely squared at the edge, so we're kind of in point rows, but the field's a half mile long, and it's mostly squared, but not completely, so it gets kind of interesting. That damn row is plugging up again. I don't know what to do about it, other than trade this stupid ass head off and get a gearing off or something like that. I don't know. We have adjusted everything I know to adjust on it. I've been on the phone with Capello today. They really don't know either. Everything they told me to do, we've already done. I cannot figure out why that row will not feed. It's not like the gearbox is plugging up. Like, it's not like anything's not turning. Everything's turning like it should. It's just not moving the material like it should. I don't know. Kind of at a loss with it. It did this last year too, and I like this corn head a lot. I like the job it does, but that one row I just cannot get figured out, and I'm starting to get kind of fed up with it. I don't know. I flipped the gathering chains backwards on that one row, and that seemed to help a lot, but it's still not quite right. It's still not perfect. I should be able to shell 5.5 mile an hour, and really anything over in the middle of the day when it's really dry, I can't hardly get 3 mile an hour. It just wants to plug that row, which is why we're live streaming now after there's a dew on, because otherwise I would have been probably demonetized off of YouTube for how I was talking to this corn header there. I was getting genuinely flustered with it. The new Steiger's been trading the Magnum and that Steiger in for, like, what I really want is a row track Steiger, or a newer Magnum, possibly. I don't know. We've talked about it, but I haven't really priced anything or anything like that. But they've both been, I don't know. I hate to get rid of that boxcar Magnum. I love that tractor. It's a really, really good tractor, but we're kind of getting to the point that there's, especially going forward with planters, there's only so many different planters that thing can run just because of hydraulic capacity. We can PTO pump it. And then the other thing is we would really like to get a 1,100 bushel or a 1,200 bushel grain cart, something like that. Something that would hold a semi-load that we could use as a holding tank. Put a guy on the road with a truck. That way if we didn't have somebody to run the grain cart, we could at least have another truckload waiting, sitting on a grain cart, kind of keep us moving a little bit better. I've got an 850 right now, and I mean, we get along good with it, and it's a good cart. It's an Unver-Earth something, 8250 or something like that. I don't know. It's like an 850 bushel cart. I'm not entirely sure, but it would be nice if it held enough to fill a semi. If it had 1,100 bushel, would be nice. And I mean, that small frame Steiger does absolutely fine with an 800 bushel cart, and I think it would do fine on an 1,100 bushel cart. But power wise it's great, but weight wise, that's not a super heavy tractor. So on some of, there's a bird right there, just came to hang out with us. No, it's gone. But it would be nice to have a tractor with a little more weight, like another Steiger, or even the larger frame newer Magnums weigh quite a bit more. So you just don't want a guy on a hillside getting shoved around with a grain cart. We're not done with beans yet. Got about 60 acres left of double crops, and then like a 2-acre patch. I started cutting the double crops. They're doing fairly well, making about 60 bushel average, which for double crops is pretty good. Our full seasons were making 75, 80. I had a few fields go 85 this year. Is there much on 15 or 20 inch corn around here? Not really. There's a few, I've seen a few 15 and 20 inch guys, but for the most part, everybody's 30 inch rows around here. See Michael over there dumping the cart into the semi. Semi's dumping into the grain bins. Also see this stupid row. It's not a slip clutch, just because you'd hear it if it was. I don't know what it is. I've adjusted. I think it has something to do with the gathering chains, but I've adjusted them tighter than tight. I've adjusted them in, slid them in where they're pretty well touching each other. Flipped them backwards, which makes them a lot more aggressive. And see, it cleans out fine. It just randomly... I think it has more to do with the auger behind it, maybe, because that's a row right in front of the feeder house. I'm just wondering if there's too much material going in, that auger isn't big enough, or maybe the flighting started to get rounded off where it's just not grabbing it and getting it to the feeder house drum. I don't know. But in that case, the row right beside it to the left would be doing it too, because that's also right in front of the feeder house. So I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I mean, I don't think it's a gearbox because it's running the same speed as everything else. Little trick with these Case combines, they won't let you run the head and get out of the seat. It'll set the seat sensor off. But what you can do is fold your steering wheel all the way back and shove the steering wheel into the seat. We just got off a road.
There's so many lights over there.
I'm like right in the middle of the field, very full. In fact, I'm glad he said something because I was just about to run the hopper over. But I don't think it's a gearbox. I really don't. I sat in the seat when it would plug up like that and put the steering wheel into the seat so the seat sensor wouldn't kick the head out, and just stood there watching it, and it was turning. Everything was turning like it was supposed to be. The gathering chains, snapping rolls, everything was doing what it was supposed to be. It just wants to sit there on top of the snouts. I don't know. The snapping rolls on that row are actually set so tight you can't hardly even get a credit card in them. These are knife rolls, and I actually put brand new knife rolls on it this morning. I also put new gathering chains on it this morning, thinking maybe that was it. I mean, I shimmed them up where they were all but touching, so it's not too big of a gap. I mean, I've got other rows that have a lot more of a gap in them, and they feed absolutely fine. So I don't think that's it. I mean, that's the thing. We have tried absolutely everything I know to try. Slip clutch is tight. Gathering chains are tight. I've measured all the other rows and then measured that row, and everything's the same. I don't understand it. I also raised the drum of my feeder house all the way up just to let more material in. And that's really didn't do anything. Will I be making more videos on how to start farming? Yeah, I would like to do a series on that this winter when I've got time. I've got a lot of harvest videos getting ready to come out. We're just so busy right now with harvest that I have not had time to sit down and edit any of them and upload them, so that's kind of why I'm doing a live stream, because I don't have to edit this. What you see is what you get. But yeah, I don't know. I would like to do it seems like the videos always do fairly well on how to start farming, but that's such a broad... it's such a difficult thing to make a video on because everybody's situation is completely different. Like, some people may have a little land in the family and some people may not. Some people may have access to equipment, some people may not. I mean, some people may want to row crop, some people may want to do livestock. It varies so much. And, you know, I'm just one guy. I will say I did a podcast not too long ago at the Decatur Farm Show with Gavin Spohr. So that's exactly what that entire podcast was about, was how to start farming or first generation farming. Gavin and I started at the same time back in 2017. And we both started with pretty well nothing. And we're both still doing it. And Gavin's even running 2 combines now, 2 planters. I mean, he's doing well. Solid dude, really good guy. So, yeah, that's the Farm for Profit podcast. I forget what it's titled, but I'm sure if you read the description, you'll see Gavin's name and my name, and yeah, give it a listen, because I get that request all the time if I'm going to make more videos on how to start farming, so that's something along those lines.
How much more we got?
11 acres.
That's crazy how these shoot fast and add up to that many acres.
It's about an acre every pass. Is it a clearance issue with the auger not grabbing stuff? I feel like it is, but I'm not entirely sure that you can adjust this auger at all forward and backwards, or up or down for that matter. I don't think you can. So if you could, that's absolutely what I would do, is adjust it where it was further forward, because if it was further forward, I feel like it might actually feed, but I don't know. I don't know. I am completely at a loss with it. Okay, we're going to be skipping a few rows here, but we're going to square this field off, because I'm tired of being lost and confused. So those rows will just have to be the row of shame at the end here. Elevator is open until midnight. Well, you've got it made, because none of our elevators want to stay open until like 3 o'clock around here locally. The river terminals are actually good enough. They stay open until 6 or 7, which is nice, especially when we're hauling soybeans. But as far as corn goes, it sucks around here. Everybody wants to shut down at 3 o'clock, 3 or 4, which is kind of ridiculous, I think, but whatever. What?
Is that road straightened out, or how's this work?
There's point rows through there. I'm squaring it off because I'm tired of getting lost going down through there.
I gotcha.
Thing is, I'm not sure I can make it all the way to the end without being full. Yeah, he's right. I need an auger with retracting fingers like a bean head. Yeah, that's an idea. I just don't know. Especially like right now where the stalks are starting to get a dew on them, I feel like I'd want to wrap the fingers Yeah, now we're getting creative. We're dumping over top of the corn. I like it. That works too. Well, that's a new one for me. Dumping over the top of other rows. As long as he's not running corn over, I guess this works. That's one way to do it. That works. That'll get me to the end, and we'll dump coming around the other side. That worked. Yes, it did. Still got some point rows here, it looks like. Little short corn right here. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is some of the bad and the ugly. Some really light ground right here. From years and years of being disc to absolute powder, there's not much topsoil left here. That's why we're trying to do less and less tillage and some cover crop, things like that. For spots like that, which I'm not diehard no-till cover crop, and I'm not diehard tillage, but I think they both have their place. Watch for skinwalkers. Well, we've always got that thing on us. I also, speaking of people talking about adding fingers and stuff, I welded some bolts to the auger, and that actually made it worse. I figured welding some bolts, I put rubber flaps on at first, and that helped a little, but then like it got to the point where they were flailing around and the auger was basically the fingers, the bolts, whatever you want to call them, and the rubber flaps I actually took back off today because it was actually flinging ears back out of the head. And then it would get trash in it, and that trash would start to wrap, and it would throw that trash right back into the row unit that was starting to plug in the first place, and it just really started to make it worse. So I don't know. Like I said, we've tried it all. It's gotten better. The best thing we did was flip that feeder house chain backwards. It just made it a lot more aggressive. And that's gotten it better. Like right now it's feeding fine, but it'll just randomly decide to make a guy pull his hair out, basically. Did I find a new draper head? Yeah, we actually bought a MacDon after last harvest season, I believe. We cut wheat with it this year, and it's been a pretty good head for us this fall. I had a couple issues with it, but nothing major really at all. It's been a pretty good head for us. It's definitely going to need a new center belt before next season, I would say. It's getting pretty rough, getting kind of torn, but it'll make it through this season. But I'd say we'll be putting a new center belt in it, but really other than breaking some sections and chipping a couple guards, it did pretty well for us this fall. That worked out perfect. We're 3/4 of the way full right here at the end. That white corn's just funny looking to me. I'm used to shelling yellow corn. It's just a little different. Little different. So I think we got about 4 passes left and we will be done with the field. But they're half-mile long rows, so it takes a little bit. Shelling away though. I'm really happy with how the yields have been so far. Like I said, we've had some really good soybeans, and so far all the corn on our better ground has done really well too. Should definitely be able to pay some bills this year, that's for sure. I don't really want, I mean, like I kind of going backwards here, but I talked about possibly trading that Steiger and the Magnum for one newer Magnum or a newer Steiger. But I don't know. We've talked about it. I don't know that we will, but I just with 7, 8, 9% interest right now, I'd really rather just run what we have and kind of operate on cash instead of borrowing an operating line and just take the money that I'd be spending on interest and stick it in my pocket and set on it and let cash be king. I don't know. Talked about doing that too. That's not a bad idea, doing polyflighting that's a little bit bigger. I feel like that would definitely help. I don't know. Like, right there, it started doing it again. I don't know why it wants to do it. It's very random. But these are also extremely brittle stalks, so it doesn't take anything for them to snap off. And see, it just took it right in there all at once. I mean, I don't understand it. Don't understand it. But I like this corn head. I like the job it does, but it's had a lot of acres on it. It had a lot of acres on it when I bought it, and we have not rebuilt it, so, I mean, but the thing is, it's only one row unit giving me problems, and we've rebuilt that entire row. It's got new snapping roll knives, it's got new gathering chains, it's got new deck plates, it's got new everything, so. And it's not acting any better than when it had the old stuff on it, so I don't know. Maybe it is a gearbox, but if it is, it's got a funny way of showing me that it's going out, because it doesn't ever like seem to slip. The slip clutch is tighter than tight, so that's not it. I don't know. I really don't know. I wish I did, but I don't. But we've got one of the new grain bins. This field will have it about 10,000 bushels shy of being completely full. I didn't build the new grain bins big enough because I do believe that we're already going to run out of storage this year, which is a really good problem to have, but I'm already regretting not making them taller. But if we would have made them taller, we would have struggled to hit them with the auger we have. I don't know. We can always add rings, I guess, down the road. Yeah, we've got several guys around us already spreading litter. When we were cutting soybeans, we got rained out for like a day and a half. And while we were out, we spread about 500 or 600 acres worth of dry fertilizer already in cover crop. And we vertical tilled about half of that in. Any of it that was on corn stalks, we vertical tilled in, and then the stuff that was on soybean ground, we're just going to leave alone and hope that it rains enough that it comes up. But if you run that vertical till in the fall on soybean stubble, it just really seems to turn it to absolute powder, as dry as we are right now. And then it's just bare dirt. And then if that cover crop doesn't come up and it's just bare dirt, if we keep having wet winters like what we've been having, it's a mess come spring. You got washes everywhere, and just don't want to deal with all that. I don't like watching my topsoil go down the ditch. So we stayed off the soybean ground with the vertical till, but we got a lot of corn stalks done. Between this chopping corn head and then that McFarland reel disc, you can take 10, 12 foot 270 bushel corn like this and turn it to pretty much nothing but little pieces this big, and that seems to work really well to plant into in the spring because you're not trying to get through all these corn stalks. But it's also kind of nice. It leaves enough material on top of the ground that when you do get those hard rains and stuff, those raindrops are hitting the corn leaves and not the bare dirt, so you're not washing dirt away too bad. Somebody else going up the road with a tractor and grain cart, it looks like. Not sure if that's the neighbor over here or what. There's lights everywhere right now, so kind of hard to tell who's who. Starting to pile up again, though. I don't get it. No, that's a different neighbor. That is a S790 and a 12-row folding head. We about whacked them with our auger. Wonder if we scared them. Not entirely sure who that is. Yeah, I do. I know who that is. So, yeah, everybody's hitting it hard right now. There's an S680 right beside us right now, shelling corn. I believe they're running a 16-row head on that. We got a 9R on the cart and a 8R running a Krause accelerator, putting cover crop out. So everybody's rolling. Checking auger clearance. That is definitely the next thing I'm going to look at. I don't know if this auger is adjustable or not, but yeah, I definitely would agree that could be an issue. Absolutely. Yeah, if it was a slip clutch, you'd smell it. That slip clutch is just metal on metal. It's like got teeth on it, basically, metal on metal, and then it's got springs that keep it together. Yeah, we're full again. I was hoping we could knock out this cattywampus point row here before Michael gets back. It's piling up bad now. We're full, so we may as well stop and let it clean out. Yeah, we're really full. Any tile projects coming this winter? Yes, I'm planning on it. Hell, we've got a tile plow that I haven't even used yet. Look, the neighbor's just like me. He's stopped too, with his beacons on. It makes two of us, bud. We're both waiting on grain carts. Corn's too good this year. Can't keep it away. But yeah, it's doing well. Doing real well. 255 bushel average on 92 acres so far. There's 99 in this field, or 102. I don't know. I always call it 100 acres. Right across the field from us, huh? Would that happen to be you? Or would that happen to be you? I don't know. There's combines everywhere right now. Thinking it's going to be a rough winter. Yeah, we're due for one, but I don't know. They've been saying we're going to have a rough winter for like 6 winters in a row, and we've yet to have one, so I don't know. We'll get one eventually, I guess. Waiting on a cart. Got a few pounds of corn out of this field. Almost 1.4 million pounds of corn. Which is a few. We'll take it. But, this was my dinner tonight. I kind of got screwed. Had a bag of Cheez-Its and that was it. My wife is not home right now, so I'd say we will be making some pizza rolls or something along that line when we get home. Because I don't really feel like, I don't know, I might drag the grill out in the shop. I think I got some hamburgers and, yeah, I got some hamburgers thawed out. Let's do some grilling. That sounds pretty good. To the west. Yeah, that's west. Get my boots off the windshield. Nah. I'm too poor to have the foot pegs, so I just use my windshield. I haven't busted it out yet, and it's dirty as all get out, so I'm not hurting anything. My boots are clean, so I have not seen any mud all fall, which I'm not complaining about. Now, the day that the field fire happened, that could have got real dicey real quick. Just because we were extremely dry. We got like a half-inch of rain since then, but it was pretty well gone a day later. Am I just starting, or did I get soybeans done? Yeah, we pretty well got all the soybeans done. We got like 60 acres of double crops, and then I got like an 1.5 acre, 2 acre little triangle that honestly I kind of forgot about, so we got to go back and cut that at some point. It's kind of it's a field separate from another field that's, I don't know, we almost honestly, after I cut them, I may just seed it into grass or fescue or something and just cut it for hay next year, because it's kind of a pain to farm it. Ran beans, south of Indy, 12%. Yeah, the beans got really dry this year. We started at like 15-16%, which was entirely too wet, but by the time we started to get done, they were down to like 9 or 10, so I'm glad we started when we did. And we were hammered down through them, but it was 85 degrees and windy every day, and they got real dry real quick. But the beans did well, and they did really well. We had a lot. I don't think we had very many that, other than the state ground. The state ground's always pretty subpar, but on all the ground I've got that's actually decent sized fields, a lot of 80 bushel, 85 bushel beans. How'd the beans do that I killed? They did amazing. I want to kill them all next year, because the beans that I desiccated with Gramoxone, I was able to cut. They were like 85 bushel beans. They were really, really good. But I was able to cut those at like 4 and a half mile an hour. And then when I got into the ones that we didn't spray and kill, I could only go like 2.5 mile an hour because the stems were so green. And they yielded the same, but I'm able to go so much faster through them. This white corn is kind of going to a special place. Some of it will probably be going to Azteca in Evansville, Indiana, and some of it is contracted at ADM, which is on the river. So typically we haul all of our corn here locally. We've got 2 places that are pretty good about paying really well, and so typically that's what we do. But both grain carts showing up same time, racing the neighbor. I'm dumping before oh shit, I guess I should probably turn my head on before I pull into the corn. Yeah, Michael's letting me know. I figured he would see that. But we beat the neighbor. We're dumping corn before he was dumping corn. It's a race to see who can get the field done fastest, but he's running a 16 row, I'm running an 8. But we're both running Class 8 combines, so I'm driving faster than he is by a little bit, I'd say. I don't know if it comes out as a wash or if a 16 row's faster. I don't know. He's got an S680, I got an 8230. That's pretty even match. But the new to us tractor right there is doing well. It's got very bright lights. They will blind you in the combine, that's for sure. I mean, it's a 1996 or whatever, so it isn't new, it's not immaculate. If I do keep it, I'm going to try my hand at painting this fall or winter. I would like to maybe repaint that tractor. That's something I've always wanted to learn how to do, is get good with a paint gun. I know 90% of painting is all in the prep work and taking your time and doing that right, so I'm not the most patient guy, so it's probably won't be a super professional job, but I'm gonna try my best. And right here we got 4 rows. I think 4 rows all the way down. And if you notice, I cheated this over. That way the row that doesn't like to feed isn't one of them that we're shelling corn with. But I'm not so sure. Yep, I'm picking up a 5th one. Nope, now we're down to 2. Hell, I don't know. Point rows. Good stuff, fun stuff. But we'll be out here hopefully tomorrow with the spreader truck and vertical till and get this spread. And the only reason we're not going to be shelling corn, and I want to get that done first, I would keep shelling corn, but we've actually got a decent chance of rain tomorrow night, and I would like to get that cover crop on and then get a little rain on it just to get it up and going. And then after that, we don't have a single chance of rain for like 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks time, we'll be hopefully, we're drag racing. He cut that exhaust off today because it was rattling around. It was all cracked and rusted through. We'll just order a chrome one for it, but he got tired of it not having an exhaust at all, so he just put the 45-degree angle tip on the bottom of it. That thing absolutely rolls coal. It looks like some Amish Mennonite vehicle you'd see up in Amish country that they drive around from Amish party to Amish party. It's exactly what that reminds me of. The guys with the diesel Jettas with hood stacks and stuff like that. That's what that tractor reminds me of right now. The the new bins are up. We're dumping in them right now, actually. We've got one about over 3/4 of the way full after tonight. And another one's got about 20,000 bushel of white corn in it, or of yellow corn, sorry. Yellow corn, not white corn. The other one is almost 3/4 full, or however full. It may be more than that now. This corn's done well all day. I climbed it this morning, but I haven't been in it. Haven't looked at it since. So I'll be climbing that tonight, seeing where we're at. We'll keep dumping in it until it's coming out the roof vents, I guess. We're gonna need all the storage we can get this year, which is a good problem. So I think we got like 2 passes left after this one. So back down, we'll end up on the county road. Take the highway home. Or just cut across the cornfield, I guess. The farm is right there. The road's a little smoother though. But that Steiger, if I do keep it, it's going to get about a $15,000 ag leader system put in it. It's going to get, I've got 2 200-gallon stainless steel Chem Farm tanks that we'd mount on the front of it. Get them polished up, put a chrome exhaust on it, paint the tractor. Mechanically, the clutch could use some adjustment. We adjusted on it a little bit and it's better than it was, but it's still not great. It's a little bit jumpy every now and then. And the brakes on it leave a lot to be desired. We could definitely pay some attention to the brakes on it. But other than that, I mean, mechanically it runs great. Doesn't really have any blow-by, doesn't really burn any oil. It runs cool. We got the air conditioner working good on it. So mechanically it's pretty solid. Cosmetically it's like a 6 out of 10. If I painted that and got it nice and spiffed up, my next one I would probably attempt to do would be the Magnum. If nothing else, I'd just paint the hood and the fenders on the Magnum. And probably the top of the cab. As far as the frame goes, honestly, I'd probably just rattle can it black. And I don't know that you're going to notice much of a difference. But as far as the red goes, I would try and make that look as professional as possible. Corn, yeah, it's making better than 250 right now. 255. It's doing well. Doing real well. It's hopping up there right now. But excluding the reclaim ground, I haven't had a cornfield average under 250 yet. And the reclaim ground you kind of have to exclude because I'm pretty sure hell would freeze over before that ground would average 250. I mean, I'd love to see it, don't get me wrong, but that would be a pretty tall order to make that happen. Take a lot of rain all summer long, let's put it that way. Little ditch there. I am really happy though. We haven't, all the ground that we did tile work and put some terraces and stuff in, it's all held very well. I started doing that about 2 years ago, fixing some washouts, just doing as many as I've got time to do over the winter when we don't have a crop in. And this is one of the fields we put a bunch of them in. And it's been very nice not crossing 3 foot washouts. They've held very well so far. I'm really happy about that. We had a decent chance of rain. They were calling for like 3 or 4 inches, and everybody was getting excited, myself included. I was about to stop shelling corn here at the farm and move to some creek bottom ground I have and make sure that we got that out before we got 3-4 inches of rain, because that ground floods very easily. And that corn's not standing the greatest to start with, so I definitely didn't want to have to mud out a creek bottom. But they turned our 3-4 inches into like 3/4 tenths at best now, and it's down to like an 80% chance. It was 100% for 3 or 4 inches, and now it's 3/4 tenths at 80%. So I don't know. Hopefully we get it. We need it. I need a rainy day to fix a lot of things that we've cobbed together just to keep running. Fix a few things right. For example, the generator having a radiator out of a Dodge Ram to keep it cool right now. Less than ideal, but if you pull the thermostat out, it works, which we did. But yeah, we got several little projects that we probably need to things like greasing that grain cart. I think the last time that grain cart got greased was when we started harvest. Honestly, it definitely could probably use greased again. The combine's been getting greased, the heads have been getting greased, but the grain cart could definitely probably use it. So could that tractor. I like keeping the steering pins and all that greased on those every few days. I don't know if it does any good or not, but it makes me feel better, so not for nothing. Some pretty good corn though. Real good corn. Got the neighbors here. He must have shut down early. Old Kendall's. Real good guys. They've been cutting beans, so. Or I think they were. They were a few days ago. I don't know what they're doing now. I'm gonna keep up with everybody. Saw them go down the road with a bean head the other day, but good old guys. Really like those guys. But yeah, we got our bins up in the nick of time. I'm definitely glad. Definitely glad to be dumping in them. I got an AGI bin monitoring system that leaves a lot to be desired so far. I'm not real happy with it at all. It's pretty foobarred. The installation was less than ideal. I've been billed for it twice now. I paid for it in full before they even delivered the system, before the bins were even built like 6 months ago. And then they sent me another bill for it the other day. I'm not entirely sure why, but it's a big bill. And I will not be paying it because I've already paid them. So I don't know, the temperature sensors are reading completely incorrect. I went in there last night, kind of panicked. The generator wasn't, it kept overheating, so we hadn't been running the fans. We were dumping dry corn in, but we hadn't really been putting air to it because we didn't have a way to. We were waiting on electricians, and just kind of everything happened at once. And the generator, you know, I bought a used generator. I knew the risk I was taking, and it's working good. It runs good. It was just, it had sat and it needed flushed out to really keep itself cool. And now that it's flushed out and we've got a temporary radiator in it, it's working like it should. The bin fan's been running for about 24 hours now, and we're back in good shape. But that corn, I tested it, and it was getting up about 85, 90 degrees in the center of the bin. And that AGI system was reading that it was like 70 degrees. And I was just going by that AGI system. And then I happened to climb down in the bin, and I'm like, there is no possible way that these sensors are reading right. Which is the whole reason I have the system in the first place, is to be able to monitor the grain. But if it doesn't monitor it accurately, they're absolutely worthless to me. So that, and they didn't fasten the bin cables down to the bottom of the floor. They're not anchored at all. So as soon as you put grain in it, it just kicked them all out to the side. So where they're supposed to be and where they're actually at now are two completely different places. They're damn near up against the bin walls now. So that throws the bin levels way off because the cables aren't in the correct locations. So I'm not real thrilled with that system right now, but we'll see if they make it right or not. I don't know, but honestly, had I known it was going to be this much of a hassle, there's a reason I put stairs on those bins and not ladders, and it's so they're easy to get up to the top of. And in that case, I could just monitor it myself. Especially for what that system cost, I can climb up and down those stairs a lot. So, I don't know. We'll see. Do we have white mold and soybeans? Not usually around here. You go north of here, you will. Typically this area, it's not too bad. I've never had it that bad. I know we can get it here, but for the most part, we're typically good on it. And I am off a row somewhere here. I don't know where I got off a row, but I got off a row somewhere. We may end up having a row of shame down this field. I don't know. But if we only have one, that'll be my first one of the season. The problem is this field's a half mile long. So it'll be a long row of shame. I don't know. There may be 8 rows over there. There may be 7. There may be 9. I really don't know. I think there's 8. Next pass is the last pass for the night. But I guess I could, since I only got one more pass, we could at least drive the combine up, and maybe if you guys are still watching, drive up to the grain bins and kind of check them out. I need to climb them anyways. I don't know how well lit it's going to be. Yeah, I can't turn my phone flashlight on, so I'm not sure. How wet is the corn? Right now, 17.2, so it's pretty dry. Definitely pretty dry. We're basically putting it in the bin and taking the heat out of it and a couple points of moisture, and then when it gets good and below freezing, we'll freeze the corn in the bins, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, the rivers are in desperate need of a rain for sure. I'm actually kind of surprised that like ADM and some of the other terminals are still getting barges up and down the river to move grain. That's kind of been a concern of mine, that maybe that the basis is going to get pretty bad, or they're going to start going full at elevators, because grain is around here. I mean, there is some rail. Like you go out in Iowa and out there, everything's moved on rail, especially like central Illinois and stuff. But in my specific area here, you go south of here and all the big river terminals and stuff, The grain is moved by barges, and so when the river gets low, it can get so low that the barges can't get up and down the river, and it just backlogs everything. It'd be real cool if this head would quit doing this. Be real cool if it quit doing it. Come on, feed. You can do it. Go in. I might have to run my reverser. Don't want to, but I might have to. Got a full hopper. It's starting to kind of go. I don't know if we speed up, if it'll shove it in or not. Yep, it did. Okay. We got a full hopper up there. We'll be waiting on Michael again, I believe. Not sure if he's on his way back yet or not. So I think this field's going to end up with a 255 average. So for 100 acres of white corn, I'll take it. Take that all day long. The last time this was in corn, it made about 265. But we had about a perfect growing season that year. We definitely got dry several times this year, so for it to be still making 255, pretty happy with that. Actually, I'm very happy with that, especially because it's white corn. Typically, it doesn't yield quite as good as the yellow corn, but it's sold for a pretty good premium, so what it lacks in yield, it makes up for in price, and then some. I better just stay here and wait on him to get back. Otherwise, we're going to have corn all over the top of the cab. Just came in. Did the bins go up? Yeah, the bins are up, and this is white corn. I don't know if I can zoom in or not. You can kind of see him over there. That's Michael with the bright white lights there and the grain cart coming back. But yeah, that's the bins over there. Looks like the sprayer got this corn a little bit here. Apparently I need to learn how to drive a little straighter. Row corn a little better. But yeah, this is white corn. And it is doing well. Doing very well. We're sitting at a 255 average right now. Here's what the map of the field looks like. So we got one pass left down through here, half mile long. The bins are right here. So, and we are right here. So he's got a pretty good little haul with the grain cart to get to me. And then that is my house right there. So this will get pretty well everything that I own, all the ground that I own will be done except about 60 acres of double crop beans. But everything here right close to the farm, right close to home will be done. The reclaimed ground, yeah, definitely growing stuff on it. That's why we put cover crop rye out there this year. As far as plowing it in, I wouldn't necessarily do that because it's fairly steep ground and you just wouldn't want it to wash, and it's got a lot of rocks in it too, so if you would plow it and turn it over, I'm guessing you would bring up an absolute ungodly amount of rocks. I've always thought it would be kind of beneficial to run an inline ripper out there just to try and get rid of some of the compaction on it, but you'd either tear a tractor in half or a ripper in half. I'm not sure which one. Get dumping here. And this will be the last pass. Hopefully, unless we got a row of shame somewhere, but so far we got 8. So far. She's rolling in up there though. White corn is doing well. Neighbors are over there rolling. I think we might beat them tonight. I don't know, it's dark and nobody can tell. I can't tell how much they got left over there. We both started about the same time. Not that it's a game at all. Need to slow up a little bit here. Michael's on the ball though. He's pretty good at, he never really spills grain when he's running their grain cart. Which, the first hopper, he speeds up and slows down with me. The second hopper, he knows to pretty well just pick a speed and maintain that speed, and then I speed up and slow down as needed to load the front or the back of the cart. We got a pretty good system going. We kind of know how each other operate, and Jesus Christ, this row's pissing me off. We're stopping. Run the reverser here, kick it out, run it back in. There we go. I don't know. I cannot figure out why it's doing that. Like somebody else said, I'm going to check the clearance on the auger tomorrow. I feel like it has way too much of a gap in it, I feel like. But, I don't know. Don't know if it's adjustable or not. Neighbors over here checking things out. I believe they're doing some bush hog. Yep, tractor and bush hog. They're on the ball. They got like 4 tractors out there now. I appreciate that they go around all their fields with a bush hog. We're going to too. We just don't have the manpower to do it right now. But we'll get that done after harvest. We'll go around everything with a bush hog and knock all the weeds down, knock some brush back, just keep the field edges looking nice. I don't know. I like the way it looks, if nothing else. They can't really fix the sensors now that we have corn in them. They're basically just a cable with a bunch of sensors in it. I think they just need calibrated, was my understanding of it. I don't know. I don't know. So, it kind of scares me that they're reading one thing and then I test it and it's another. I don't really want to trust hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of grain to sensors that may or may not work. Climbing the bin and actually checking it myself, I know what wet grain feels like, I know what spoiling grain smells like, and I know what heat feels like coming out of a bin, and you definitely don't want heat in a bin for a long period of time. So yeah, I trust myself a lot more than I trust the sensors, let's put it that way. But the main thing is they can show you if there's a hot spot in the bin, or that's the idea of it, but they weren't doing that at all. I think I may have counted to 8 correctly. The reason I have an 8-row head is because I can't count to 12, so that's why we got an 8-row head on it. Class 8 combine. Have to take my pants off to count to 12. I don't have that many fingers. And it's plugged again. Neat. Oh, nope, cleaned out. Okay, cool. I don't know. Cornhead doing cornhead things. There will probably be a Geringhoff head on the front of this combine next year. Or a case head or something other than a Capello. Just had a lot of issues with this head. But it's got a lot of acres on it too, so take that for what it's worth. Still a decent head. I just need to figure out how to get that row unit feeding. I don't know. I don't know. The thing about if it was auger clearance that wouldn't make sense about this is the fact that the row right beside it, that's also in front of the feeder house, is feeding fine. It's just that one row. So, I don't know. I do not know. It's feeding worse right now than it has all night, though. It won't clean out for some reason. Probably about to watch a gearbox explode on YouTube. I don't know. This is just enough to piss a guy off. Run the reverser here. Come on. Now the reverser won't even run. There we go. Hey, you run the reverser for just a second, and then kick it on, and it'll go right in. Or it won't. It's making a liar out of me. Come on. Come on. Come on. There it goes. I don't understand it. Don't understand it at all. But we're almost done with this field, so it's a problem for tomorrow again. It's been a problem every day, though. That's the problem. This has happened every single day we've shelled corn this year. And I cannot figure out why. It's really starting to get on my nerves. So I'll be cornhead shopping probably. I don't know what I will buy. I would like to demo a few before I buy anything. Jesus Christ. It would be a pain in the ass right at the end of the day. You know, like 50 yards of corn left to shell, and it's decided to quit feeding. I don't get it. Screw it. We'll just run it till it blows apart. I've had enough of it today. Just kidding. It's shoving corn over now. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. There's not really anybody to come work on a Capello head around here. But that is the last 8 rows, so there she be. 100 acres done. Well, there wasn't enough corn in the hopper to even kick the unload on there. Okay. We are done. So yeah, I'll live stream just long enough to bounce the head a little bit and see if that makes a difference. I don't know. I don't know. I can't figure it out. But we'll ride the... Yeah, screw taking the road. I'll just cut across the field. So yeah, 96 acres is what that's calling it. Depending on how you map it out, it's 102, 99, 98, 96, I don't know. Depends which monitor you look at. Combine will say one thing, Climate will say another. The planter monitor will say one thing, the sprayer monitor says one thing. They're all relatively close, but you never get the same thing twice. But 255 is what this ended up averaging, so pretty happy with that for the white corn. And it is calibrated. 17.2 was the 17.1 was the average moisture across the field, so did well. Did real well. Race Michael back. This combine rides a little bit better than that tractor does, though. Got bigger tires on it for one. But I'm gonna check and make sure the generator's still running cool. Make sure it's still got enough fuel in it. Honestly, we should have ordered fertilizer from Helena. If I would have known we were gonna get done at, I don't even know what time it is. It's like 10 o'clock. 9:30, 10:30, I don't know. I can't read my iPad right now. Well, I can do this, I guess. Yeah, 9:30. Maybe it's 10:30. I feel like that's not right. Time change gets the best of me. Looks like Michael's gonna win this race. It's alright. At least if the corn head bounces off the combine right now and gets totaled out, you guys saw that it wasn't intentional and I didn't do it on purpose. Got video evidence. But it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen to this corn head. Well, actually it would be, because we got a lot of corn left to shell and I don't want that to happen, but I'm frustrated with it. So we'll jump across the highway here. Got the water fountain out in the pond spraying, so that bin has white corn in it, but it's not quite full. That bin's totally empty and getting full of white corn. That bin is half full of beans. That bin is completely full of beans. It's almost coming out the roof vents, actually. And then I also bought 2 new Peterbilt semis. Those have not been on YouTube yet, I don't think. No, they definitely haven't. All the pickups lined up there. But I bought 2 2012. They're identical white Peterbilt 386s. Got a decent price on them. The Volvo hydrolocked itself, so it's being worked on right now. But I'm looking to consolidate some semis because I own 4 of them right now. But there's one of them right there, sitting on a dump trailer. The generator's still running. There's the Steiger on the VT. Yeah, the generator's still running. That radiator, like I said, is out of a Dodge pickup, zip tied in there right now. It's pretty rigged together. But we're putting corn in the bins. He's just been dumping the grain cart into the semi, trickling it into the auger, and that grain bin will probably be full if we shell corn tomorrow. I'd say we'll have the first bin full. We've been spreading fertilizer. That's been going well so far. Got some steel targets hung up back here. The International, and then it's on a hopper bottom. It's on the long tempty. And then we got a Peterbilt on the dump trailer. And we got a Peterbilt on the other hopper bottom. So, bin fans look like they're still running. That's probably all I got tonight. No, it is 9:30. Okay, so my iPad's right. Yeah, I wish we would have had fertilizer ordered. I didn't even think to do that. Because I could go spread like 150 acres in no time flat, and then one of us could shell corn tomorrow and the other one could VT it in. Oh well, we'll knock it out tomorrow. You can spread a absolute ass load of acres in a short amount of time with that spreader truck. We spread like 400 acres with it one day. You can cover a lot of ground very quickly. Are you done with beans, and are your new bins full? We're almost done with beans, and no, they're not full yet, but they will be. I'll be damned. I'm gonna get out of the combine here and look, but it looks to me like we've already got cover crop rye coming up. Not positive, but it sure looks like it. So this is what it looks like after we run a vertical till over the corn stalks. And I would think we would have some rye coming up, but it does not look like we do. I was probably seeing volunteer corn, and I'm going to make an ass of myself, but yeah, I don't see any. I do see we got some corn growing. Just one kernel though, so I'll take that. That's a pretty good loss. Something's burning. It smells like a campfire. But when I'm around the combine, it makes me nervous. No, I believe this is some rye. No, that's corn. Okay, I lied. Cover crop rye is not coming up. Only volunteer corn. There's a shitload of it. But that's going to be it for this video, probably. Seen any coyotes to shoot at? Well, yes, but we can't put that on YouTube. But yes. But yeah, that's what the chopping corn head and the VT does. Does a good job. So we'll let that rye get up about yay tall, spray it, kill it, plant soybeans right into it. It's already got fertilizer on it. So yeah. I'm gonna investigate this combine because I don't like what I'm smelling. It smells hot. But it could also be somebody, just one of the neighbors with a campfire, but it has that smell. I don't like it. And I'm gonna blow the combine off as well, but I want to investigate it before I go at it with a leaf blower and put oxygen to a fire. Hopefully there is no fire. Hopefully I'm smelling a neighbor, but this makes me wonder. I don't know. Anyhow, that's going to be it for tonight. I'm going to try and get this checked out. Hopefully it's nothing. And if it is something, we're here at the farm where we got a garden hose, and if it's something just smoldering, it's not a big deal. We can get that out. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching. This should be uploaded, so if you didn't catch the whole thing, it'll be on YouTube probably later tonight after I get home and have Wi-Fi to do so. But yeah, anyhow, thanks for watching, and I'll be putting some videos up shortly.